What if the government was using a secret fried chicken recipe to take total control of every black person's mind in the country? I mean, that's probably not what's happening, but you never know. And if you're wondering how that statement has anything to do with the film They Cloned Tyrone, well, that's basically what the entire movie's about. And it's amazing.
Bing bong!
They Cloned Tyrone is a new Netflix original movie starring Jamie Foxx, John Boyega, and Teyonah Parris. And it is an absolute trip. While I was watching this movie, one thing came to mind. This film felt like if Sorry to Bother You took their insane, ridiculous premise and went a little bit further. And I wanted to start off by saying that everybody in this film is absolutely fantastic, and it is impossible not to notice that as soon as this movie starts, it is shot like a film from 50 years ago. There's a real 60s, 70s vibe to this movie, from the music to the outfits the characters are wearing, and it's all got that like natural film grain look to it. It's just very cinematic and a very interesting choice because the entire movie takes place in the present day. But the decision made in terms of how this film looks really adds a lot to just what makes it all feel so surreal and bizarre. Essentially, one day a guy wakes up and starts to question whether or not he's actually real. After he died the night before, he goes back to every single person he interacted with, and they all remember it except he's alive. And I kid you not, that is the most normal this movie is, because after the first 10-15 minutes of this film, it goes off into such a wild, hilarious, fantastic, beautiful, chaotic direction that it easily became one of my favorite movies of the year. While everybody else was watching Barbie and Oppenheimer, this is the film that I was excited about, which came out over the weekend. And it's crazy because sometimes a movie like this will come out that has such a bizarre concept on the surface, but is actually using that concept to discuss a lot of real world issues. There are commentaries in this film about black on black violence, about government conspiracy theories, about how dangerous those conspiracy theories can be. There are themes in this movie about our country being incredibly divided, and overall this film is attempting to talk about so many subjects, while also, in my opinion, succeeding in literally everything it's attempting to do. And I also feel it's worth noting that this movie is crafted so meticulously, right down to where it got its name. In fact, in order to figure out why this film is called They Cloned Tyrone, you have to watch the entire movie and stick around for the post-credit scene. Only then will it explain where it got the title of the film. And when they show you why this film is titled what it is, I was mind blown. It was so well done. I know movie titles can be kind of a small detail, but anytime a detail that small is actually taken seriously by the writers and given some sort of reason behind it, I really appreciate that kind of stuff. This movie takes inspiration from films like The Matrix and Clockwork Orange and Star Wars, which they directly reference, and it's hilarious because John Boyega as the lead in this film, I just appreciate seeing that Star Wars acknowledgement. Although I'm not really sure he does. By far, one of the best aspects of this film, which I have to say it again, truly feels like a spiritual successor to Sorry to Bother You. But one of the best aspects of this movie is the misdirection. Even if you think you know where this movie's going, you're wrong. I was wrong. You're probably going to be wrong too, because there are so many twists, so many turns in this film. Some of them are hilarious. Some of them are actually incredibly dark, but done really, really well. It just makes the entire viewing experience incredibly fun and enjoyable. This entire movie feels like they pitched one idea about what if the government was using a secret fried chicken recipe to take total control of every black person's mind in the country. And they just started pulling at the thread more and more until they came up with one of the most insane premises for a film that I have probably seen since Sorry to Bother You. And I absolutely love the fact that throughout this film, you are on this journey with the characters. I was so committed to figuring out what was happening and where this was all headed, and I really appreciated that the characters were just as dedicated to getting to the bottom of this incredibly strange story. I really appreciated a lot of the commentary that this film is attempting to make just on our country and our society and the way a lot of people think, or maybe they think they know things that are not actually true. There's a really fun, dark aspect of sort of not necessarily encouraging these conspiracy theories, but just sort of poking fun at like, yeah, that's an interesting conspiracy theory. What if it was actually true? What would it actually look like? Would it look like what this film creates? Because this film is essentially poking fun at people who have these absolutely wild theories about what's really going on, but it also lends a weird amount of credence by showing you, yeah, maybe that is going on. Here's our idea of what it might actually look like if it's true. If you can't tell by now, I absolutely loved this film, and I know everybody's very excited about Barbie and Oppenheimer, and it pains me that while those movies are amazing, I am sure this film is going to be incredibly overlooked. They Cloned Tyrone, easily one of the best films of the year. This is easily going on the best films of the year list. Hopefully, once you guys are done checking out Barbenheimer, you give this one a watch. I promise you, you will not be disappointed.